Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades. Now let's get right into it because I really want to look over some data at the moment with this market rallying non-stop as we made another high today in the Nasdaq. And we're going to be covering Bitcoin and everything else as well. Just let me get the Forex factory open just 1 second here. Forex factory, there we go. Okay, perfect. So now that we can see that the Nasdaq has consistently been rallying these last couple of days and last week as well, and we actually made a slightly higher high today, or actually we closed on a higher high, but overall, the Nasdaq has been pushing higher. You're seeing Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Google is on an absolute tear at the moment, and Google is actually at a very nice short level. If you guys haven't noticed, Google is at an extreme high at the moment, and it's being hyped up all on AI, 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 AI. I am very excited to see what Nvidia earnings are going to be bringing for the markets on I think it was Thursday that they're reporting. I want to see how many times they're going to say AI in their conference. I think it's going to be over 100, maybe 200 times. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get over to Bitcoin first, and then I'll show you guys some analysis on the TLT with the S&P 500. So Bitcoin, again, a very lackluster day, very boring, just chopping sideways here, waiting for its next move, either towards the upside or towards the downside. We actually saw a significant amount of volume come in for BITO, which is the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, which is the bullish one. So if Bitcoin goes up, this ETF will go up. And we saw a big amount of volume being bought near the end of the day today, which is a bullish sign, but it doesn't mean that we cannot dip lower, right? Bitcoin could very easily come back down to maybe 25,200 to 24,800, which is one of my next levels of major support, which I would be very interested in longing Bitcoin if we were to get towards that level. But again, there's no guarantee that we are going to get to that level. However, things are chopping sideways right now. You already got your leg down towards the downside. Now you are consolidating at the lows, which is kind of a bearish pattern if you ask me. But we are getting some bullish signs at the moment on wave edge. Taking a look at market cipher, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Here we can see we did not print a new daily candle as when there's 1 hour left before the new daily candle prints, but right now we have a red dot at 14 in the -3, so still looking bearish. But we didn't. I think we did make a new low today, down to 26,500. But we did not make a new high, so things are essentially just chopping sideways here. We are starting to see some green money flow come in on the 4-hour time frame, but we are not seeing much upside happening in Bitcoin at the moment. So again, just be on the the wary side. Don't go all in on any trades at the moment. In my opinion, I think we're going to get a nice swing long right around the $25,200 level, which has been my target for quite a bit of time now. And now you're forming it. On top of that, you're forming a head and shoulders pattern. If we have broken the pattern, sorry, we have not invalidated pattern yet because we have not closed above the neckline here. So all things are still pointing towards the downside. On top of that, I mean, you got the S&P and the 500, you got the Nasdaq, and you got like the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is just 30 stocks essentially, but what I would be really looking at is the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. And again, the Nasdaq has been really getting ahead of itself. But what I want to show you guys, at the beginning of the video, is this iShares 20-year Treasury bond ETF against the S&P 500, essentially. So you guys can see that the TLT here has made a move down towards the past. So I'll show you guys the dates are exactly lined up here. So right here we have February 1st. We can see that the TLT is starting to move towards the downside. But we see that the S&P 500 consolidates, either chopping towards, it's either chopping sideways, refusing to move down, and you can see 15 days later, we get our leg towards the downside. And eventually, you see the TLT bottoms out and then starts to move towards the upside. But you don't see that move up yet in the S&P 500. You see that the S&P gets another leg down towards the downside, which is technically like a bit of a bullish divergence here because the TLT is already up to 105. And then you can see after that, the S&P 500 starts to move towards the upside. And you saw this in the past year in August of 2022. I can go all the way back and show you some in 2021, but I'm just showing you the most recent ones. And right now you can see that, back then you could see that the TLT was getting a very big leg towards the downside. And again, the S&P 500 diverging towards the upside, rallying as high as, I think this was a 4.27% rally, as the TLT dropped over, I believe it was 7%, and then it kept rallying, and eventually, once the TLT found its the S&P 500 found its top, you saw that it started to move towards the downside along with the TLT, and did not find its bottom until I guess October, the October lows. And even then, you saw that the TLT kept moving down, but the S&P 500 already started to move towards the upside, and then the TLT followed the S&P after that. So I guess the S&P was the leading indicator here after all, after that major bottom that we got in October. But right now, what we're seeing is that the S&P again is moving up, but the TLT is moving towards the downside. So again, in my opinion, I think the S&P is going to correct itself, and it's going to start to move towards the downside accordingly. But again, who knows? We're gonna have to see what happens. Let's just be patient. And again, if you really want to track it from its peak to its bottom, we have been diverging since essentially the beginning of April. Okay, now let's take a look at natural gas here. So natural gas, a very big down day today, down over 7%. But at the moment, it is starting to find some support at the 50% retrace here, from the bottom to its top right here. I'll just pull it up a little bit higher to make it a little bit more accurate. You guys can see we are holding the 50% retrace as support at the moment on the currency.com chart. If you are using the Pepperstone chart, something very similar. I think it's about the 50% retrade as well. Yeah, we almost tagged that level, but again, if you were to move a little bit lower, then I would look at the 618. But anything lower than that, I think you might have found your top here, and you could very well start to make some lower lows. But I'm very confident that we are going to get another move up in nat gas, and we're going to see how all this debt ceiling talk is going to affect natural gas as well. It's going to be very interesting. But overall, still very bullish on nat gas. I think this was a healthy pullback, and we're poised for another high here, potentially right around $3 to $3.50. Anyways, moving on, let's take a look at oil. Again, oil actually had a nice little candle here, nice little tail, but it is, again, just chopping sideways. You can even say that it's in a symmetrical triangle at the moment, getting ready to make its next move. So if we just do this, from the lows, there you go, and you connect all these bottoms, there you go. You essentially have a triangle breakout waiting for oil. I think you're actually going to start to break out towards $77 to $76. I am going to start entering a short position around 75 to 77, but I'll let you guys know inside the Discord once I make those trades. Anyways, also talking about trades, we did hire a new trader for the gold members and the crypto members to do a little bit more trading inside the margin trade. So his name is Hayden, and he's going to be posting his trades for cryptos with leverage inside the margin trades channel for you guys who have not known that yet. I think I made an announcement inside the server, but I don't know how many people read it. So let me just check here. Oh, a good amount of people read it. So, well, I guess they're informed about that event now. All right, let's take a look at gold. Gold, very boring day, just chopping sideways. Got rejected essentially from where it closed last week. And I think gold is getting ready for its next leg down towards 1915. I think that's going to be some major support, but you do have this upsloping trend line here right around 1930 to 1928, which is going to be acting as support as well. Now, something we should take a look at as well is the US dollar bond yields, because the yields right now have been on a tear for the last 2 weeks. They've been moving higher. Now the 10-year is at 3.72%. Let's take a look at what the 2-year is at. The 2-year has been making its move up as well. It was down to 3.8 and is now back up to 4.3 in the last 14 days here. So I guess, if you're counting from here, it's going to be the last 14 days. And then taking a look at the 20-year as well, all yields are moving up. So again, it's starting to look like the bond market is starting to factor in how serious the Fed is, and it's going to be higher rates for longer. And the market has been fighting the Fed with just by looking at the S&P and the Nasdaq. They have been pricing in lower rates and rate cuts. However, the bond market is not pricing in rate cuts. It is starting to price in higher rates for longer now. So you can see the delusion in the stock market right now. It's absolutely crazy. But again, the market can remain very delusional and very irrational for a very long time, as you know, until a very big economic break happens, and then we see a very big pullback. Anyways, moving on, let's take a look at silver here. So silver failed to maintain above the $23.92 level, and it got rejected once again, and it is starting to move down here. So again, I think silver is going to get another drop to potentially $22.20. That is going to be a major level of support. However, you still have that fib retrace, that 50% retrace right around $23. That could very well be acting as support as well. So please take that level into account when making your trades. All right, let's take a look at the hash rate bins here. No cross yet, no capitulation cross, and then no real other indicators that I really want to show you guys. I could show you guys the weekly time frame on Bitcoin here on the MACD. It is actually about to cross into the red, so this could be a sell signal happening for Bitcoin if we do end up, if these moving averages do end up crossing. So be very careful getting into some very big long positions on Bitcoin. A pullback in the market could very well happen in the S&P and in the Nasdaq, and this could affect Bitcoin as well. Anyways, that's my take for today in today's market, and then I think I'll just show you guys the Forex Factory to close it off here. I'll show you guys the news events that are going to be coming this week. So on Tuesday we have for the US the flash manufacturing PMI and the new home sales, and then on Wednesday, which is, oh sorry, I think on Tuesday tomorrow we have, do we have FOMC minutes? No, we just have a FOMC members speaking in the morning. And then on Wednesday, I believe we have FOMC minutes. Yeah, that's when the FOMC minutes are going to be coming out. It's going to be Wednesday. And then Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is going to be speaking up more about the debt ceiling talks, probably, if it's not resolved by tonight. Again, they said they're going to try and resolve it by tonight, but if it's not, then there's going to probably be some more downside tomorrow. But who knows? Maybe the market's going to be happy that the debt ceiling is not going to be resolved. Everything is absolutely crazy right now. And then we have unemployment claims on Thursday, and then nat gas storage on Thursday as well. So that's going to be impacting our nat gas trades. And then on Friday, we have the core PCE price index. Okay, so that's about it for my update on the markets. And then you guys got your news events at the end of the day. Thank you all for listening to my video. Love you all. Peace.